welcome to Woman Up, the podcast series by Desperate Art Wives. I'm Susan Merrick, and today I'm here speaking with Diana Gravina. Diana is an artist, producer, doula, and founder of Procreate Project. Hello, Diana.
Hello, Susan.
It's great to have you here.
Nice to see you.
And you. So I've known you for a few years now because I became aware of the Procreate Project through the pilot that you did of the Mother House in 2016. We can come back to the Mother House. I would first like you to give the listeners a brief background of what Procreate Project is, what its aims are.
Procreate Project is an art organisation that I founded alongside my pregnancy when I had just moved to the UK. Its aim is to support contemporary artists who are also mothers working across disciplines. And our work is to create new models, new ways to operate, new ways to support women artists during this very crucial time in their private lives and career.
Amazing, thank you. You have a real passion and drive for supporting women and non-binary artists who are also mothers carers. Where does this passion, this drive come from?
It comes from a personal experience. I arrived to the UK and it was already a quite isolating place to be. I didn't know anybody and I was 3 months pregnant at the time. I only knew what they told me about pregnancy, which was quite depressing. But my experience was very different. It was really positive and inspiring. And I found this drive that was coming right from within and inside my body. And that really shifted my perception of pregnancy, the pregnant body, the pregnant mind, and social and professional state of a woman during this time. And so I've started looking into it because it was so present and so incredibly inspiring that I went online and I started looking for some resources, some information that could back up my experience, and I didn't find much at the time. It was 2013. There were not many information out there that will kind of highlight the positivity. And so since then, this force and this inspiration that was coming from my personal experience was matched by the need and the urge to communicate it, to communicate my experience and the experience of other people, of other artists during this time, how creative can be, and also the need for a different type of support, a new type of understanding, a new type of representation within the public culture, really, and the creative industries. Or what this can mean for a woman, not just for the work that comes out of it and that tell us about this experience, but also for the practicalities of it and how the priorities change and how the way that we make work change and how our daily life change. I think it's a mix, really, of views that we need to take in consideration when we're trying to make art, when we're trying to support artists to make art, and when we are exhibiting the art of those women.
Absolutely. I think it has to come from a change in how things are done. One example of how you've been trying to do this is within your project, Mother House, of which I was lucky enough to be a part of the pilot, as I said earlier. Please, can you tell us what you would like from the Mother House? What challenges mother artists are facing, which has kind of brought you to this space, and what's happening with it at the moment?
The Mother House Studios, it's a practical solution to allow artists to make work in a dedicated space without having to compromise on their time with their children, on how they want to mother their children, and how and if and when they want to make work, and what they want to make work about. When we started in 2016, we still had in mind very fixed and rigid structures on how we envision the workplace, and because of that, we thought that we were going to establish a studio space with a creche or a nursery just nearby. But we didn't have the money, and we didn't have a proper space to set up creche facilities. And so the choice were to give up this need and this dream of having a space where we could just be whoever we wanted to be, and then help artists doing the same, or work with what we had. And so we did. As you know, we had a beautiful open plan studio space and a wonderful garden where the children could be and enjoy the green and materials and just whatever was on offer. We didn't have money to pay for anybody to come and take on the childcare, so we did it on our own, and organically over 35 artists in the first pilot participated. We're just looking after each other's children, and that's when there was a breakthrough, really, where we realised that separation is not the only solution possible, and that the need for new infrastructures was universal, not just in the arts, but actually across sectors. And how do we put in the centre the women's needs at this time and the children's needs at the same time? So going out of those boxes that tell us that the only way to make work is to give our children to someone else, and for them to look after them. So it was a really special time because it was enlightening. And since we went on with the second pilot, we tried to create a model that could be sustainable, long-term, a provision that could be there for artists at all times. So not just a pop-up, or not just a residency with a limited time for creation, but a provision that is there and is available to as many communities as possible, really. So we worked on the affordability, the financial aspect of it, and we integrated also all the childcare ethos. So we started having and working with Elisa Fontana, who is children psychotherapist, and she just finished her MA in play therapy, and she's been working in the arts and drama and with children for a very, very long time. And we were so lucky to have her in the space, and with her we have created what is now the integrated childcare model that we're trying to push and replicate. So it's where the responsibility is split 50-50 between the artist and the childcare facilitator, where there is a specific ethos around the children and what they do in the space, and the freedom that they have to move between spaces, what it's offered to them in terms of resources and materials and activities, and also in terms of being able to access the working space and their mothers when they need to. After the pilot, I guess that we've been trying to find a more permanent space and money to open that permanent space, and it was a lot of work. We took over a year off from public programs, and finally, when we were almost about to give up, I guess, we were funded by the Mayor of London and the Verben Foundation and other organisations. You can find the campaign on Space Hive, and we raised nearly £50,000 to support the opening of the first permanent Mother House studios here in London. It has been over a year, and we're still looking for a space. So the challenges are many, I guess. I could tell you about the really difficult property market in London. I could tell you still about the perception that landlords and also local authorities have of a business like ours, a business that looks more at the community, a business that is run through different value systems, and how that gets supported, because we run on different models and we serve a specific type of group. So it's challenging because it's all interlinked. So we're still looking at the perception of women and the fact that if they have children next to them, they can't really make any quality worth it work. We're looking at landlords that even if we're proving that we have a very solid business plan in place, they're still looking at us as a non-for-profit and as a very idealistic type of business, and that cannot reassure them that we are not just giving them, some rent, but we are also giving big added value to the community that we serve locally, and then when we will be able to replicate it then internationally. We're looking at challenges that come with financials, yet again, because properties and spaces are very expensive, especially in London. And I do believe, and I'm seeing that possibly a model like this could be much easily pulled together in towns or smaller centres, or in towns where the property market is less challenging than London. However, we do want to make it happen in London, because the impact and the resonance that we can have if we make it happen here, it's massive, and it really proves that if we can manage in London, then we can replicate this model, and it's needed anywhere else. But to do that, we really need to fight the system. And I do sound dreamy and idealistic, possibly, but that's who I am, and I'm not always positive. Not every day are really positive. I mean, I had an existential crisis not just 2 days ago, and it's not easy. But I can see it. I receive emails every single day from people that are located anywhere in the world. And it's a model that tackles so many pressing issues that it needs to exist, and it needs all the support that we can get, really. So if anyone has any knowledge of the Lewisham area, because it's where we need to open because of Grant's condition, then please get in touch. If you own a property, if you want to share a space, if you can help with contacts, if you want to work with us on any level and from any capacity, please do get in touch. Coming together, it's really important. Putting these communities together, it's really important. Keep talking with who runs spaces, who owns spaces, talking with local authorities and not just, where we're operating at the moment. It's really important, and we need to demonstrate that we cannot run on value system that only put monetary value upfront everything else.
Thank you, Diana. I know that as well as having this huge project that you're passionately working on, and it drags you up, drags you under, it's hugely intense. You've also got the Oxytocin conference coming up this year again, which I attended last year, and I only got to see about half of it because I was loving it so much that I was trying to attend what I could. So I want to know what you've got planned so far this year for it, when it's going to happen. Or any details that you have would be amazing.
Yes, so Oxytocin Mothering the World is at its 3rd edition this year, and is going to happen in partnership with Queen's Mary University and LADA, Live Art Development Agency, who have been between our partners for the previous editions as well. It's going to be in June 2020. It's a platform that brings together health professionals, birth keepers, midwifery, art, academia, and it combines workshops and lectures and panel discussions with a very rich program of performances. And we bring these contents in places and venues where usually these contents are not seen. Last year we were at King's College Guy's Campus, and we partner up with the Birthrights Collection, and we have distributed all the performance interventions all across the beautiful Guy's Campus. And we were in medical classrooms, in the chapel, in corridors, in the courtyard. We were everywhere, and it's really important, I think, to push this content into different institutions and to different audiences as well, and to bring collaborations and to bring all these sectors together and to communicate with each other and learning about each other's work, because it's how we can really improve creatively and strategically the way that we operate across sectors and the way that we can support women prenatally and postnatally as well.
It's a really fantastic conference. I think you're having it over 3 days this year, and last year was 1. That excites me because it maybe gives me more time to get to see as much as I can. I think I caught 4 performances last year out of the many, many, many that were going on. But it was so amazing to come out of a lecture, for example, which may have been around the topic of midwifery, one element of midwifery. I think it was gendered language within midwifery, and then coming out and up the stairs into another corridor to see a performance going on that was, it was just so beautifully curated to have all of these academic and very visually stimulating elements going on at the same time, and one after the other. It was, yeah. So I would urge anyone to get a ticket and come along to that.
Yeah, it's going to be 2.5 days. We're going to launch the program with LADA, Live Art Development Agency, and then we're going to have 2 days of lectures and performances in the campus. We're still looking at which campus, so I don't have that information yet. But yeah, please keep updated on our website. And this year we will kind of build up from the conversation from last year, and we will be looking into inclusivity and accessibility within the maternity services, as well as in the arts and the public culture. And we will be looking at gender, race, disabilities and bodies and sexualities, and how we can be more inclusive of everyone's experience and life choices.
Amazing. Thank you, Diana. The other major project, again, that you have going on is Mother Art Prize 2020. For those who don't know what that is, can you share about that, please, on your amazing judging panel as well for this year?
Yes. The Mother Art Prize is another platform that is dedicated to self-identifying women and non-binary artists with caring responsibilities. And it's another platform in a way to create new operational ways and methods and platforms that can facilitate representation and artistic development for this group of artists. And in this occasion, for this platform, we call international visual artists, and we offer, this year actually, we're offering many more awards that that we've gathered thanks to our partners that take the risk with us. So we are offering a £500 cash prize and a 2-week solo exhibition at the showroom. And then we have an international award with up to 4 weeks residency at the White House in Dagenham in partnership with Create London, and up to £500 worth of art materials, which is sponsored by Call Art. And an online award which offers an online exhibition with the Richard Sultan Gallery and mentoring session with the wonderful Sylvie Gomenzano.
Amazing.
I want to thank all our partners, not just for the Mother Art Prize, but for Oxytocin and the Mother House and all the individuals in the organisation that do take that risk with us to challenge the way that we usually work and we operate and we support artists, that to challenge what the contents that are out there can be or it's going to be. And for the Mother Art Prize, thanks to all the judges for the previous editions, and this year, we have on board Niam Coughlin from the Richard Sultan Gallery, Paulina de Souza, Director of Diversity Art Forum, and a long-time supporter of Procreate Project, Elvira Diangani Jose. Sorry for the pronunciation. She's the director of the showroom and lecturer in visual cultures at Goldsmith University. Eva Langret, artistic director of Frieze London. And Claire Mander, chair of steering committee of the UK Friends of the National Museum of Women in the Arts and director of the Core Lab. And Frances Morris, director of Tate Modern. So great women, they are supporting our work, our aims, our goals, and we're really honoured to have these people on board. We're really grateful. I'm going to go back just for the group show of the Mother Art Prize.
Yeah, sure.
I haven't mentioned Elephant West and the Elephant Magazine, who are our main partners this year, and the group show is going to be in November. It's going to open at Elephant West on the 6th of November and it's going to be on until the 29th.
It's really incredible, Diana. I would like to go slightly more personal for this question, because I see what you do, your passion in terms of which work, what work, who you support, I suppose, in your projects. But what work do you love? As maybe as an audience member, or maybe as a creator, performer yourself, what gets you excited?
Personally, I like works that are honest, that are private, works that are made because they're felt and not because they need to fit into certain standard, not because they need to be sold, but works that talk about real experiences and that go deep, even when that gets uncomfortable. I like honesty in art, in performances, in visual art, in sound, and any expression possible, really. There are some great, well-established artists that definitely, give me goosebumps, but they don't need promotion today. We know them. So I think I will encourage the people that are listening to look into all the artists that have been published, that have been exhibited with us, with Desperate Artwives, with the Museum of Motherhood, the Birthrights Collection, the Spilt Milk Gallery in Scotland, and all these fantastic organisations that are really pushing forward this emerging, incredible, talented artists that are making their way through into the art world, and while raising small children and everything that comes with that. I would like to mention our commissioned artist for the last years, Mary Martins, who won the first Motherhood Prize. Lenny Doughton is really challenging the representation of the relationship between the mother and the child, challenging, the depiction of that coming from the Renaissance art, Christian art, religious art, and many more, really. Natalie Leonard giving a new depiction of birth and how that can be reimagined, undisturbed. Please look at the very long list that we have on our website. They're all published and there are all hyperlinks to their website. These artists need to be shared and promoted, and every single effort from each individual can make a difference, because, we all have our network, we all have our audience, and if we look at the contents that we share and the way that we use social media, we can really make a difference in our own small or big world. So go and look at these artists, look at their names, look at their works, their website, and share them wisely, because all the contents, all their experiences, all their voices are really valuable.
Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Amy, for providing this space. I wish to add an extra and very big, important thank you to my business partner and partner in crime. Paola Lucente is the co-director and curator at Procreate Project, and without her, I wouldn't be here. She came in a time where my strength wasn't that. To be honest, and it had been a few years of really pushing my way through, also going through separation and all of that, which happens. She arrived, and she's really pushing with me right now, really trying to make a change, really trying to make the Mother House Studios happen for us, for the community in London, for the international community of women and mothers out there. So thank you, Paola. And the team of volunteers as well, and everybody that has contributed during these years to make everything that we do happen. Women need to come together more often. So thank you. I have loved to be together with you today.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for listening. I'm Susan Merrick, and this was Woman Up, the podcast series by Desperate Artwives.